Hi, my name is Kara Wheeler, and I am on staff at First Presbyterian in Rock Hill and a part of the education and equipping team with Providence Presbytery. We wanted to offer a webinar for those that may be nervous about embracing Zoom, this online platform to allow for remote meetings, hybrid opportunities for those who are meeting in person and those who are not yet comfortable returning in person. And so I've just titled this presentation Zoom 101. In no way is it exhaustive of all of the opportunities that you have to use Zoom, but I do hope that it's an introduction to what Zoom can offer for you. This presentation is going to be in two parts. The first part is just for those users who are joining Zoom for a meeting. The second part is going to be for those who are hosting a Zoom meeting with additional information. If you have no intention of hosting a meeting, don't feel like you need to stay and watch all of the presentation. But if you will be joining a meeting and you have some questions about what's involved, then I do hope that this is helpful for you. You have several opportunities to log on to Zoom. The first is to just go to the website, zoom.us, and at the top center, there's an icon that says join a meeting. Click the link, and then you would type in the meeting ID number that had been shared with you, as well as the password. If you choose to just click the link that was shared in your invitation for your meeting, then it will take you directly to the meeting. I recommend that everyone go to the zoom.us website, and then at the top right, click sign up. It's free, and create an account. That will download some software onto your computer. It will make joining a meeting very easy. And when you click that and you create your account, then oftentimes you don't have additional steps that you might have if you just chose to log in through the website and the join a meeting link. If you're joining from a phone or a tablet, then you will need to download the app, and it looks like this, Zoom Cloud Meetings from Meet Happy, and you would need to download that, and it is very helpful if you create an account there. When you join a meeting, you're going to want audio and video. In order to get audio, you need to do several different things. On a smartphone, you have the option to call using internet audio, dial in, or choose no audio. Well, people are going to want to hear you, so definitely choose call using internet audio. That will connect with the audio through your Wi-Fi. If you needed to dial in, it's an option. It just is an extra step and makes things a little bit more difficult. So call using the internet audio and connect with your Wi-Fi or data, whatever it is you're using to connect to the meeting. If you're on a computer, then you simply need to click unmute at the bottom if when you join it's muted. But there is also this arrow right here. And if you have several microphone options on your computer, click the arrow and then you can choose which microphone you want to connect with. If you're on an iPad, then the audio is this headphone icon right here in about the top center. So you're going to want to click that. It'll give you the same options as you have with the smartphone. And so choose call using internet audio. It'll connect through your Wi-Fi or data, and everyone will be able to hear you. If you want to be seen, then you need to choose Start Video. And that's going to look different depending on which platform you're using. On a smartphone, you're going to click the camera here at the bottom. On a computer, you're going to click the camera at the bottom left. And if you're on an iPad, you're going to click the camera that's up here towards the right, although I didn't make that large enough for me to be able to see. But the other piece to being seen is that there are two views on Zoom. There's the speaker view, and that's where the speaker's face is predominant. And then everyone else's face, there's like 3 or 4 options, and they're very much smaller somewhere off to the side of your screen. The other option is gallery view. And I've had many people describe that as Hollywood squares because you're able to see almost everyone in the meeting, if not everyone. I will say if you join using an iPad or a smartphone, you do not see as many squares of people as you would if you're joining from your computer. So anytime you have an option to join from a computer, it's always easiest because it gives you the most options. However, you can still join just as easy. You just have fewer options from the iPad and the smartphone. So to find the gallery view so that you can see everyone participating, if that's your preference, On a smartphone, you're simply going to swipe right. And when you swipe right, you'll be able to see more people. On a computer, you're going to click on the top right, this view with the multiple squares, and then choose gallery. And then that'll allow all the tiles to pop up. And on an iPad, it's those same squares, but it's on the top left instead. And so for the speaker view, you see that the speaker's picture is large. Other pictures are much smaller. And then when you choose gallery view, it will put more people together, like you see right down here. Now, there is some etiquette for those who are attending a meeting through Zoom, much like there would be if you're attending a meeting in person. Definitely consider your environment for both noise and background. When I have meetings at home, I have a small child, and so I have to try and find a place that's further away from my daughter. Some people have dogs that they need to separate from if the dogs bark a good bit. So just consider where you're going to be joining from for both what the background's going to offer, but also the noise level. Mute your microphone unless you're needed to speak, or if there's an agreement that everyone leaves their microphone on at all times. In most of the meetings I've had, especially with the youth, I've just asked that they leave their camera on at all times, but to mute unless they're speaking. That helps to mitigate the background noise. If your camera is on, keep it at eye level. Don't move it around. It's very distracting for everyone else when you see out of the corner of your eye someone moving around a good bit. So just keep your camera, your computer steady, and choose where your camera is going to be and just leave it there. And try and avoid multitasking, just like you would if you were in person. You want to be engaged in what's happening in the Bible study or meeting, whatever it is you're attending. So try and just stay focused on what you're doing and participating in that meeting. And also be respectful. Last night I was in a meeting and I did interrupt a couple of times because I did not use what I am going to say here, which is what you should use. So if you have something to add to a conversation, but someone's speaking, rather than thinking that they're finished speaking, because you do miss out on some body cues through these types of meetings with Zoom, there is an option to raise your hand. In the three-dotted more section of your computer, of your iPhone, of your iPad. It gives you a chance to find these emojis. And this is a chance for you to show that you're engaged in what's happening. And you can give a thumbs up, a heart, you can give the laughing face if you want to do that. But most importantly, there's the raise hand option. So just click the three dots for more, and then choose raise hand if there's something that you want to add to the conversation. And then the person moderating the meeting will know, yes, you want to say something, and then you could say it without interrupting. I should have used that feature last night. And then finally, just stay seated and stay present. If you're up moving around a good bit, it's quite distracting. So try and just be present if your video is on. I will say that I needed to attend some meetings, but I knew that I was going to be driving and or in the car, and I did not need to have video on with a Zoom meeting. So Zoom meetings do offer the option to call in to listen. So you would just keep your phone muted when you call in, and then you'd be able to hear everything that's happening. You can unmute your phone, you can speak when you need to speak, but that's another way that you can be present in a meeting, but not be distracting for those that are on video and present as well. So I will offer that. Now, this next part is for those who are hosting a Zoom meeting. And I say that it's easiest to do this from a computer because that's what my experience is, doing it from a computer. So if you have questions about hosting from a phone or an iPad, I'm not as adept at answering those. However, everything's available. It just looks a little bit different on those different platforms. There are different types of Zoom accounts. The first basic account is free. You can have up to 100 participants, which I don't know that anyone has more than 100 participants in a regular church meeting or Bible study. And it allows you to meet for 40 minutes. Then you can, the next option is to pay for a year's license. I do believe that this is available on a month-to-month option if that's what you needed. It's $30 savings if you choose to sign up for a full year. If you're going to be hosting multiple meetings in a month, and those meetings may go longer than 40 minutes, it's going to be a lot easier if you just purchase the next basic account that cost money, and that's the Pro account. It's just really annoying to be in the middle of a great discussion and then Zoom automatically end what's happening because of your free status. So if you're hosting multiple meetings, the $149.90 is a great investment for you. So there are different options though. If you are not going to need that, then there would be no need to pay for it. Plan ahead as you set up your meeting settings. Zoom meetings now are automatically password protected, and those passwords are usually a random set of numbers and letters. I do change the password to something that is going to be easy for everyone to understand and type in case they are joining by typing in the numbers for the meeting ID. If they click the link in your invitation, then it'll automatically take them to it. Definitely copy the invitation. It's super easy to do through Zoom, and then send it to everyone that's attending. I have a policy not to post meeting information publicly because I have had friends who have had Zoom bombers join their meetings. I understand it's incredibly disorienting for someone who has very ill intentions to join your meeting, to shout profanities, and you're frantically trying to get them out of your meeting. So I don't recommend posting it on your website, posting any information on social media. I would simply send your information to your attendees and tell them the same. This is just for those attending. Please don't share this publicly. You also have the option to choose if you want there to be a waiting room or not have a waiting room. Sometimes I choose waiting room, other times I don't. It just sort of depends on the group and what the meeting is about. But having a waiting room is one more way to prevent someone not needing to be in your meeting from being there. So if you're hesitant about having someone publicly join, or if you know you're going to be publicly sharing your meeting information, then definitely do have a waiting room. And if you by chance did have someone Zoom bomb your meeting, then there is a way through the Zoom website to report that. And I would definitely report that as well. During your meeting, you can set some settings in case you need to change anything. You'll see you just click the security button, and then you have a chance after your meeting's begun to lock your meeting so that anyone else can't join. So if you did post your information publicly, everyone's there that needs to be there, then you can just go click security and then lock meeting, and that will for sure keep anyone else from joining. The downside to that is if someone's internet connection is not as stable and they for some reason they lost their internet connection and had to leave the meeting, then when they wanted to rejoin the meeting, if you've locked it, it would not allow them to do that. But if you don't feel like that's an issue, locking the meeting is a very secure thing to do. You have options for participants. You can allow participants to share a screen, chat, rename themselves, unmute themselves, and start a video. Unless I have participants presenting in a meeting, I don't choose share screen, but I do allow participants to chat and then to rename themselves, unmute themselves, and start their video. Those are some basic things that make it easier if the participant can do that and you're not managing that as the host. However, if you wanted to change someone's name because you recognize that their name's not correct, the person doesn't do it, but you want everyone else to make sure you're clear on names, you would just click the participant list, and then you would click more, rename, and then you would rename that person. So right now this is listed as Providence Presbytery, and if we wanted to rename it to my name, then we would click participants, more, rename, and then type in my name, Kara Wheeler. The other option you have is to share your screen. I'm actually recording this through Zoom right now and using the share screen feature. I've used Zoom several times to record different Bible lessons and devotions and activities. Zoom makes it super easy as a video cloud platform to record videos. So in order to share this presentation, I went to the green share screen button at the bottom, and then I chose this PowerPoint presentation and I clicked share here. If you do not click this blue share button, then your screen will not share. So you always have to start the green share screen, choose the platform or the program you want to show everyone, and then click the share button. And the other thing you need to understand is that the file that you want to share has to be open in the background of your screen in order for it to share. So if you haven't already opened whatever it is, the video, the PowerPoint presentation, the website, whatever it is, if it's not running in the background behind Zoom, then it's not going to show up here on share screen. So you'd need to sort of minimize Zoom, find what it is you want to share, open it, and then come back to your Zoom platform, share screen, choose what you want to share, and then click the blue share button. There's also the option to share a whiteboard. And this is a lot of fun, especially if you're in a meeting and it's a planning meeting and you're brainstorming things. The whiteboard allows you to take notes and everyone can see it just as if you were writing on a whiteboard in person. For youth, the whiteboard's been fun to play different games. So I would definitely take advantage of this whiteboard option if you're wanting your meeting to be much more engaging and interactive, much like any presentation or lesson you would teach in person would be. To get there, again, you just click the green share screen button, choose whiteboard, share, and then this screen that's here on the right would appear, and it gives you all of these options. You can write text, you can draw pictures, you can erase what you've written, you can save your whiteboard so that all of your notes from your meeting will save as a file on your computer, and then you can access or share those later. Zoom, as I said earlier, has a lot of resources, and I would highly recommend that you tap into those resources and don't hesitate to contact them. They have a help center through their website, and that help center has webinars specific to different things in Zoom that you may encounter. I reached out to a Zoom employee through, I guess they were considered a sales rep, but the sales rep was incredibly helpful when I met through Zoom with him in explaining what the different accounts were, what my options were. And so I highly recommend that you reach out to all of the Zoom resources that are available. And if you have any further questions, you can talk to the reach out to the Presbytery office, and anyone on the education and equipping ministry team would love to help encourage you to embrace this technology so that you can stay connected, meet remotely. The convenience of remote meetings, it cannot be ignored. But it's also helpful for those that are wanting to stay engaged, even if you are meeting in person. Using this in a hybrid manner has also been effective at my church as well. So God bless you as you embrace all of these new ways in staying connected with your congregation. And please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.